Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're reacting to some Make My Choice Reddit posts, and I know you guys love them, so I'm delivering them to you. I have gathered some crazy ones so far, so let's get started. This is the subreddit Make My Choice. Could this mean he has feelings? Is it worthwhile to ask? What is it about, love? I have an older male worker who is single and divorced. We have become friends and have always clicked. He's told me I am great company, and while we usually go out for dinner with other coworkers, I'm the only one he seeks one-on-one time with. We have seen a movie and gone out for lunch, but nothing romantic. But he doesn't say anything flirty. I have only answered once. He suggested once that I come over for a drink. I responded positively, but he didn't give a date. He mentioned it a couple of times after that, but I left it alone because I wasn't sure why he wasn't being more specific. Coworker, single, divorced, emotional late night calls. This sounds like the edge of a workplace rom-com, maybe. I don't know. He may be onto something right now, but he doesn't want to give it away. It was kind of like a soft lunch at this point, if you know what I mean. At work, one day he brought over a book of quotes he had at his desk. He had earmarked several pages over the years and left the book with me to look at. This is interesting because men don't usually hand you books. They have bookmarked, right? Unless they're trying to show you their secrets or their soul, you know. He said he thought I would find it interesting. It was kind of random. He had brought up positive quotes prior to that, saying how they used to write those in a wall at work. That's cool. Anyways, usually he doesn't show a sentimental side to anyone. And that is end of this post, you guys. I'm not getting much information from this. He does seem like he's interested in you, or this could be just a casual friend-to-friend relationship. And he does seem to like you, right? As a person, at least for that. He's definitely, though, testing some waters and dipping his toes into the waters at this point because, you know, he's trying to figure you out. So basically, it probably will end up as something, as a date or etc. But he's probably being really cautious, especially if he's already been divorced. Let's read some comments, you guys. Let it go, don't date coworkers. That is funny. And then there's a reply to that. I dated a coworker. 7 years later, we are married, own a home, and have an almost 3-year-old with another due in a week. It doesn't always end poorly. Yeah, I agree. Definitely doesn't, but there's always exceptions, right? At this point, there are limits to that. So make sure you keep it really safe between your coworkers, you guys. All right. Anyways, this was a short story. Let's see the other one. The love of my life does not want kids, and I do. My 26 female, boyfriend of 4 years, 26 male, has recently determined that he does not want kids. His reasoning is that he's simply not interested in being a parent. I have PCOS, and my gynecologist told me last week if I want to have a baby, I should start trying at 28, latest 30. I have a horrible relationship with my family. Don't see them getting involved with helping me raise a child. I make decent money, but not enough to pay for nannies or cleaning people on like regular basis. I have always really wanted kids. It hurts me to think that I won't have any if I stay with my current partner. When your body puts you on a clock and your heart is tied to someone who isn't on the same timeline, this is the toughest pressure that I can't even imagine. This is probably a really deep heartbreak in that sense. I am so sorry that you're going through this. Oh, that's so sad. My therapist asked me recently if I would be okay raising kids with someone only half as good as my partner, and that makes me equally sad to think about. I love him very much. He's my best friend, and we have very aligned values and communication styles. Even this big bomb drop from him was not impacted the dynamic of our relationship, as we continue to have lots of love for each other and support each other. We have always been an us versus the problem type of couple. The fact that they still love and support each other, even in a disagreement, it does say so much about their bond. It's definitely not toxicity or incompatibility, right? Just two people who had fundamentally different futures, and that is what makes it a little bit more harder. It does look that they're really compatible for each other. They agree and end up talking to each other very comfortably, but it just seems that they're having hard times in understanding what they want for their future. And that is probably something hard. If you do like someone, sometimes it is even okay to let go in those sense, because at the end, if that person is not going to be able to have children or want to have children, listen, you won't be happy because you would want them. you would want them. I did some soul searching this last month and found a good Vox article about deciding whether or not to have kids. After thinking about it a lot, I definitely do want kids, but it would absolutely wreck me to break up, not find a good partner to have kids, miss my window to have them, and have lost both of the chances of having kids and my partner. This part hits really hard, you guys. It's not about even a fear of being alone, right? It's a fear of missing the life you imagine and losing your safe space. That is the issue. It's like she's currently fearing of not finding someone in time, and that is what breaks my heart at this moment. That sucks. My life with my partner is lovely and comfortable. We travel once or twice a year. We go to nice dates. We have a car, bank account, apartment together. My life will undergo a 180 if we break up. And is it even possible for me to meet someone even 80% as good as him and start having kids in less than 2 years with a non-existent support system on my side of the family? I feel like I'm impending doom with this decision, hence why I post in this group. Any advice is appreciated. Listen, you're not selfish for wanting kids, and you're not heartless for loving someone who doesn't. The right decision might hurt either way in this case, right? But one version gives you a shot at to give you that full dream, and the other girl guarantees that you won't have it because he does not want the kids. Again, breaks my heart, you guys, terribly. Sometimes love and loving someone is not enough, and aligning matters more than comfort. Aligning with what you are looking for in the future. Edit, I have accepted that this man does not want kids and will not change his mind. I know that if I stay with him, I will never be a mother. I'm trying to make a choice on whether to stay with my partner that I love very much and have predictable future with no kids, and break up and try to have kids with someone else in the next few years, knowing that my health and family support system is fragile. No need to comment that I cannot convince him to have kids. Don't worry, I know that. It is a very tough situation. Listen, like I said, sometimes love is not enough. If you think you're going to be happier with kids, I'm sure you will find someone who will be as happy as you are. And you could still have this partner nearby if you really connect with him so well. Let's read some comments, you guys. And let me know. Let me know what you think and what would you do in that situation. That is extremely heartbreaking, in my opinion. And unfortunately, it does not sound like you are compatible. You're probably compatible in like interests and stuff like that. But if you have priorities that are not aligning with each other, it probably sounds more like incapability, which I probably mentioned before. Let's read the comment now. Unfortunately, you're not compatible. This is one of the biggest relationship decisions in which you have to be on the same page. I completely agree. Also, side note, my life partner with is a very lovely and comfortable. We travel 1 time a year and we go on nice days, have a car, bank account, apartment together. My life, she quoted, undergo 180, we break up. Your life will also go 180 when you have a kid too, whether it's with a guy or someone else. Traveling, dates, bank account balance, living situations, a car, all may change for a kid anyways. Yeah, sometimes those things don't really work together. That's the issue, you guys. That was a real one. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Should I break up? We have been dating for 1.5 years. I, 24 male, really do love her, 22 female. When we first started dating, work was great and I spoiled her a lot. Paid for everything, constant dates, flower, trips, gifts, etc. Work just isn't as good anymore. Been having family issues, etc. All of these things have stressed me out so much to the point where even the relationship has been becoming draining. Okay, this is a very classic burnout. That sounds like a really, really classic burnout. You're not falling out of love, you're probably just caring too much, or the whole relationship. So you probably have a lot on your plate at this moment. The problem is she doesn't plan any dates. I'm still paying for everything. Whenever we talk about future, she always telling me what she wants, what kind of ring, what kind of wedding, what kind of life, how I have to provide for all that. Listen, you're not her boyfriend at this point. You're a lifestyle subscription with no pause button. She got too comfortable in that case. But there's a very little talk of what she's going to be providing in return. I've always tried to avoid thinking in such transactional ways, but it's always gotten to my mind that I'm going to do a lot more than she's doing for me. Yeah, love is not supposed to feel like a customer support or a customer service, right? This seems like you are in need of constantly performing just to maintain a really good relationship, which sucks, you guys. completely sucks. This is not how it should be. I feel like she doesn't do much to make it better. She never cooks. We have a housekeeper who does all the cleaning. She just says she's too busy and then she expects it to be this way for the rest of her life. We order takeout for literally every single meal and that gets exhausting too. I told her I would be happy to cook together and she always says it's too troublesome getting groceries and that it ends up costing the same anyway. I get it. Modern relationships don't need to be 1950s, you guys. You don't have to cook, clean every single day, but doing absolutely nothing while expecting luxury life, I do not agree with that. I completely support my husband, right? There are so many priorities. We both work full time and my house is not always clean, but I do make sure that it gets done because my husband, though, right? He takes care of a lot of the things in the house in terms of financial decisions, right? So I don't know what she's expecting, but like I said, she got too comfortable and that's kind of your fault. And what is she busy with? I just have a question at this point. There's a million micro issues. I feel like I'm always walking on eggshells. Any small mistake I make and she gets mad and then I have to console her. I try to break it off a couple of times, but it always makes her so sad and she cries so much. It hurts me to see her in so much pain. If you're always tiptoeing and she's the one crying, that's not a relationship. That's a hostage situation with some cries and hugs. Listen, consoling someone who constantly upsets you, that is emotional labor right there. She is kind of sounds like a person who manipulates you in that sense and she won't give you peace. Listen, if this goes too far, she would not be giving you peace. You will just be super exhausted. This is a very exhausting relationship and I'm already tired by just reading all of this. So what do you guys think? What would you do in that situation? I think it's OP's fault in my opinion. He has spoiled her, right? And of course, if you do it to the right person, you won't receive that type of feedback. But if you probably did it to a lady that loves that kind of attention, expects that type of attention, she would always expect that from you. Unfortunately, right? That is her expectations. If you can't see yourself financially supporting her for wherever, try to tell her that you cannot afford it anymore and that for a long-term relationship, you would need her to chip in as well. True? Yeah, definitely. There needs to be work done and it doesn't look like she's... Let's talk about financial. I only heard your side of the story, but I don't see that she's trying to do anything emotional as well. So that is what I'm confused about. It does sound like OP needs to set his boundaries straight. He's being really kind and he's trying to be really nice to her, but it doesn't always work that way. Me out here doing some relationship advices. Look at me. All right, next one, you guys. I caught my girlfriend talking to another guy. Okay. Hello, I am 19, male, and my girlfriend is 18, female. We met in high school. I was a junior, she was a sophomore, and we were exactly friends before we met each other. We talked on Instagram for a week, and almost a month later, we started dating pretty quickly. We have been together without much conflict. In the first year, we argued quite a bit, but we established ground rules and set ways to communicate our feelings with each other if we ever feel wrong about something. That is really good to hear. Good job. We have been together for almost 3 years now and with us being at different stages in our lives, it is slightly difficult. I'm in my second semester in college and she's graduating high school, but we have made it work. That sounds like a really nice deep pond, especially for your young age, right? But sometimes longevity clouds judgment. However, I crashed my car 2 weeks ago and it's been hard to see her in person recently, so I haven't met up with her in person since then. Almost 3 weeks now. She has been telling me she's been talking to a guy recently and I'm skeptical, but I have a few friends who are girls, so I understand, which my girlfriend had to get used to. Okay. I feel like I've represented myself in good faith too, despite her platonically hanging out with girls, even one of them on one-on-one. I felt pretty confident in our relationship until today when the guy talking to her privately DMs me asking if my girlfriend and I are together. He makes it clear that there is no sign of us being together on profile, no highlights, photos, or anything, and that she has been flirty. Listen, if another man is confused about your relationship status because your girlfriend has wiped you off her profile, red flag. Red flag. She has been texting way more than me, saying good morning and good night, talking like this, stuff like that. He did not reciprocate this behavior. She planned on hanging out with them just two, but when I confronted my girlfriend, she said that she was going to tell me all of this. In the call with her, she took full responsibility for everything and acknowledged it was wrong. This is a very out of character for her, and I just don't know what to do. She's definitely likes attention. She has fatherly issues, so she has problems with men, but I don't know, man. I caught flirting only a week in. I kept telling her if he didn't call her out, it could have led to something, but she says to stop assuming. Should I break up with her or take a break on this relationship and figure it out a different way? I mean, props to her for admitting that she messed up, but doing bare minimum after what being caught does not undo any betrayal at this point, right? Taking some accountability does not erase the intent, like you said, right? If someone else didn't call it out, she could have kept going. I think she would have kept going. Listen. And the daddy issues, whatever you've mentioned, trauma explains behavior, but it doesn't excuse it. So don't even worry about that. She has to work on it. If she's not comfortable with the relationship, she shouldn't be in a relationship. That's all. And by the way, for just an advice, if you're already second guessing this, that's the sign right there. And also, you are definitely just very, very young. You don't know anyone loyalty that's been reciprocated. You can love her and still leave. So wish you luck. But let's read some comments, you guys. She's being so obvious that the guy went out of his way to tell you. That's up. Yeah, you guys, that was crazy. All right, that is all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, but for now, make sure that you check out all the links in the description and have a look at my beauty channel as well. If you have any questions or thoughts, please write them in the comment section. I'm there all the time. I really wish you well, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.